Our congregation is supported by the gifts of time, talent, and treasure of this community. Your support is what fuels our congregation's mission and keeps the flame of justice, community, and love burning brightly. If you're a visitor, please be our guest and let the basket pass you by. What's given now is received in appreciation of our shared hopes and values. For these gifts which we have received, may we be truly grateful. May we be committed to using them to make a difference in the world and to expand our beloved community. And now let's sing our offertory response, From You I Receive.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
We'll now enter a moment for silence, meditation, and grounding. I'll sound the gong once at the beginning to mark our time, and once at the end. Let's settle and take a moment just to be and breathe. This morning we have a special event. I want to make sure everyone received a candle when you came in. Does everyone have a candle? Great, okay. To start us off, we have actually a song that I wanted to share with you. This is called Yule by Marianne Chenner. And then after that, we're going to light some holiday candles, and we're going to light some candles together. So we'll start off with the song, Jake, if you have that pulled up.
Deepest dark, longest night, stars a sparkle in the sky, solstice night turns to day, bring the dawn and light the way. North wind blows the veil between, waking life from winter's dream. Yule is here, the fire burns bright. Welcome back the growing light. Deepest stillness, darkest night, bless this turning wheel of life. Breath of starlight, magic flows, as above, so below.
All right. Jake, would you mind dimming the lights? Maybe just one of them? Thank you. That's perfect. So the first candle I lit there is in honor of the winter solstice, the green candle. And the winter solstice is marked in many cultures and lands long, far and beyond, before and beyond this moment. It names the longest night as a turning. And this light honors patience, cycles, and the work of rest and return. So what we're going to do this morning is I have, if you'll notice, 4 other candles in here. And these candles represent, the blue one represents Hanukkah, the red one represents Christmas, the yellow one represents Kwanzaa, and the orange one represents Diwali. And we're going to light each of these candles in turn, and then we're going to light our own candles, extinguish our candles, and then relight them again to honor the returning of the light. And we'll have some folks assisting with the lighting of those candles. So, haven't done this before. It's an experiment. We'll see how it goes. So let's do it. So our second candle, Jake, if you would, is the Hanukkah candle. So Hanukkah is the Jewish festival. We light this candle in honor of Hanukkah. Hanukkah is rooted in history, memory, and survival. It tells of a light kindled in a time of danger, not because it was guaranteed to last, but because this light was needed. And this light honors resistance, faithfulness, and the courage to persist as a people. Our third candle is for Diwali, the orange candle. And Diwali is celebrated across many regions and languages and traditions, especially within Hindu, Sikh, and Jain communities. And it marks the triumph of light, of wisdom, and of hope. And it honors beauty, courage, and it insists that joy is something that is worth protecting. And then Kwanzaa is our yellow candle. It is a cultural celebration created within and for communities within the African diasporan experience, including African Americans. And this is rooted in the experience of community survival and the work of building with intention. And so for people of African descendants, this light honors dignity, self-determination, and the labor of shaping a future together where safety wasn't always guaranteed. And then finally, we have Christmas, the red candle. And this comes from the Christian tradition as a season of promise that love will take form, that holiness can be embodied, and that justice is not something that will remain abstract. And all of these traditions together, they're distinct, they're rooted, they're not interchangeable. But they do remind us of something simple, that light, that joy, that persistence, that community, that love, that none of these things happen on their own. We have to tend to them. And so now let's do just that. Let's light our candles together. So if I could get the folks that I asked to help with the candle lighting to come forward. We're going to help you light your candles. If you could, pass the flame on to a neighbor. Come on, baby, light my fire. So, now that we have our flames, let's take a moment. We have a room filled with light here. Take a moment and name, either to yourself silently or softly out loud, something that you are welcoming back into your life, into the world, or into your community. And let's fill this room with light and wishes for ourselves and our community and the world. Right. As the light comes in, there are also seasons where the light or joy or hope or persistence we tend feels fragile, or when it goes away. These are times when grief or exhaustion or fear or loss can feel overwhelming. The sun is gone and the nights seem long. This is the time when we need practices and community that sustain us the most. And so now, if you want to, I invite you to extinguish your candle as a recognition of the need for rest, the acknowledgement of grief, the need for pause, the need for dark. And let's take a breath together. This is the deep rest, the long night, the breath before creation, the dark before the dawn, the turning, the tomb, and also the womb. And still, the story doesn't end here. We heal, we grow, we love, we grieve. New life is born. We support one another, and our traditions and our communities are what help us rekindle our flames when things seem most cold and dark. Let's now relight our candles. And now, as we have our flames lit again, let's take a moment to name, either silently or softly out loud, what helps the flame return for you. It could be a relationship, a practice, a community, a promise. What helps it come back? This is return. It doesn't happen quickly. None of us can do it by ourselves. We don't keep this light alone. We tend one another, sometimes by offering flames, sometimes by sheltering it, sometimes by standing close to someone else when our own or someone else's light flickers. And we do this with the help of the wisdom from the traditions that we inherit, traditions that have taught people across generations how to wait, how to resist, how to hope when hope is hard to find. These lights remind us that care is not self-made, it's learned, it's practiced, and it's shared. May we draw strength from what has sustained others before us and offer that strength carefully, humbly, and together to the people and the community and the world we are still becoming. So let's extinguish our candles one final time. And though we extinguish them now, may we know that these flames endure. They sustain us. And may we commit to tending the flames in one another with the courage for the long night and trust in the work of return. So in the season of hustle and bustle and packed calendars and holiday parties, gift buying and family visits, and for many of us, for some of us, it's tangled with loneliness and grief and memory and nostalgia and tenderness and exhaustion, all kind of tangled together. I think it's important to take a moment and pause. And what we just practiced together is one of those practices, right, that helps sustain us. Across time and history and cultures and continents, so many holidays that gather this time of year are about the returning light in one way or another. And this isn't because everything is bright, but because it isn't. Because the days are shorter, because the nights stretch long, because survival itself once depended on noticing when the sun returned and gathering together for support. We gather, we decorate everything we possibly can with lights, we bake goodies to share. These traditions are still alive in us. We come together in community. Earth-centered traditions across the world were among the first to mark this turning. So long before we had electric lights or climate-controlled homes, people watched the sky. They tracked the solstice, told stories, lit fires, sang songs, and gathered together to remind one another that darkness is not perpetual. The light isn't gone, it's changing. And so are we. And later traditions took up that same longing in different ways through lamps that burned longer than they should have, candles kindled against empire and despair, births remembered in unlikely spaces, celebrations of renewal, resistance, dignity, joy, different stories, different meanings, different claims. And we don't collapse those traditions into one story. We don't pretend that they all mean the same thing or that they belong to us in the same way, because they don't. We don't smooth over the real differences, the histories, or the particularities. But what we do is pay attention. We practice noticing what these traditions share without erasing what makes them distinct, and I think that's important. And here in the middle of a complicated season, we practiced staying present, noticing where the holy shows up, which is right in the middle of everything, in uncertainty and lives that are unfinished, in the busyness. And this act of intentional noticing, of making space for reflection and rest, for grief and hope, for meaning making together, is one way that we tend the light. One way we learn how to care for ourselves and one another when the light grows thin in us, in our communities, and in the world. We survive on practices, not on ideas alone. Practices, especially this time of year, that tell us to slow down when everything else is telling us to speed up. Practices that help us pay attention, that teach us how to hold joy and grief and light and darkness and meaning and uncertainty at the same time. And that's what these holidays offer, each in their own way. The holy shows up in the middle of the busyness, right in the mess, right in the uncertainty, in the kitchens and sanctuaries, at tables where food is stretched and shared, in forest and fields, in a borrowed stable, in homes and streets lit up, in living rooms and communities, in lives and people that are complicated and unfinished. And that's where worship lives for Unitarian Universalists. It's not about saying the right words or holding the right beliefs, but in what we choose to pay attention to. It's a practice of attention, choosing again and again how to notice what matters. And the darkness isn't empty, it's generative. It holds rest, it holds renewal, it holds the slow work of becoming. We lit our candles today from one another. We felt how fragile the flame can be. We let it go out and blessed it, and we relit it, not alone, but together. And all the while, those central flames remained, not because they're perfectly truthful or eternally enduring, but because they represent practices that have helped people endure, stories told before, rituals repeated. And I think that's the point. When the light grows thin, we don't start from nothing. We draw on what sustained us before. We lean into practices that help us make sense of what we're living through. We rely on community to hold what we can't carry alone. And here's the gentle, personal question that I think this season leaves us with. When your light feels thin, when you're tired, when you're grieving, when you're overwhelmed, when you're unsure, what helps you recover? What helps you rest? What helps you remember who you are? And just as importantly, who around you needs tending right now? Whose flame is flickering? Who might not need you to fix anything, but just be close and witness? I don't think these holidays ask us to be endlessly bright. I think they ask us to be faithful to the work of tending to ourselves and to one another and to the shared life between us. I think they remind us that flourishing doesn't come from ignoring darkness, but learning how to live honestly within it. This season invites us to choose what we cultivate, what we pay attention to. So as we step back into the busyness, as the lights come up and we enjoy our soup and community, into the gatherings and the errands and the music and the memories and the mess and the magic and all of the things that come along this, may you go with lightness. May you remember that joy is not something that happens when you have it all figured out. It's something that we practice. It's something that you notice. It's something that shows up when we let ourselves be fully here. May you laugh when the candles drip and the plans change. May you savor a small brightness, the warmth of a mug in your hands, a familiar song, a face that makes you feel more like yourself. May you trust that these moments matter more than we're usually willing to admit, maybe a lot. May you let joy surprise you as resilience, as a reminder that love can always keep finding ways in. And may this community be one of those ways, a place where light is shared, where hope is practiced together, where you are welcomed exactly as you are, tired, tender, hopeful, unfinished. So go with courage, go with gladness, go ready to notice what shimmers, ready to share your flame, your brilliance that's special to you. And may the light we've tended here travel into kitchens and cars and living rooms and long nights, all of the celebrations and special moments and ordinary moments until we gather here again. I'd like to close with A Blessing for the Longest Night by Jan Richardson. Throughout these months, as the shadows have lengthened, this blessing has been gathering itself, making ready, preparing for this night. It has practiced walking in the dark, traveling with its eyes closed, feeling its way by memory, by touch, by the pull of the moon, even as it wanes. So believe me when I tell you this blessing will reach you, even if you have not light enough to read it. It will find you, even though you may not see it coming. You will know the moment of its arriving by your release of the breath you have held so long, a loosening of the clenching in your hands, of the clutch around your heart, a thinning of the darkness that had drawn itself around you. This blessing does not mean to take the night away, but it knows its hidden roads. It knows the resting spots along the path, knows what it means to travel in the company of a friend. So when this blessing comes, take its hand, get up, set out on the road you can't see. This is the night when you can trust that any direction you go, you will be walking toward the dawn. May it be so, and may we be the ones who make it so. Blessed be. Amen. Ashe. All right, my friend. Thank you.
It is now the time that we have our sermon conversation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was beautiful. And I appreciate everything that you said. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I'm glad to see you.
Anybody else?
Looks like Larry up front.
This time of year is special in that we pause. And I've had a long pause this last year. And it's nice to come to a place where we can think of the brightness in the darkness together. And so I thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And we can't have one without the other, right? And I think that that's true of our lives too. We have to have the rest. We have to have that space to make room for joy, right? Yeah.
Thank you for your sharing today. And what troubles me is the political situation we have today, the way people are responding to it, the lack of trust. I'm hearing people wanting to get physical and violent. I even find myself at times going, what in the heck am I going to do? Who am I? I'm nobody. My question is, what can I do to be effective? How can I open the door and allow that light to come in? How do I need to change in order to do what's mine to do in making this a better place, making this a loving place, and making this a true community?
Oh gosh, that's a big question, and that's a whole other sermon, I think, Larry. And to be honest, I think that you do it. I think that showing up with your whole self, I think being kind, I think that doing our best, I think that's all we can do. We have, there's a concept in Buddhism called, what do they call them? Karmic waves. Basically, it's like the ripple effect, right? So we don't know where the actions that we take end. So when we act with kindness, right, and we don't have to do that perfectly. We all lose our tempers. We, all, yell at people in traffic, or we're not all our best selves all the time, right? But we do our best to not contribute to hate and to divisiveness and violence, right? And it's hard because there's so much of that right now, and that's a really deep question. But I think it really just starts with focusing on our sphere of influence and being kind and being present and being authentic and just doing our best and being the best humans we can be and building the best communities we can, really. Yeah, thank you for that question. That's a big one. It really is. We could probably talk about that for the rest of the afternoon.
Any other comments? Okay.
All right. What's our closing here? All right, we had a closing song. It's one that everybody, I think, knows. It's This Little Light of Mine. And I have some rhythm instruments, and I would love it if y'all could accompany me with some drums and some shakers, and let's have fun with it. Can we do that? Yeah. Let's do it. Right. All right, everybody knows this song, right? Oop, I think I just went out. How about this one? All right, there we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around Roseburg, I'm gonna let it shine. All around Roseburg, I'm gonna let it shine. All around Roseburg, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, you sound pretty good. Thank you. All right, I think I did have a blessing, but I think that's blessing enough. Go in peace, go in joy. Blessed be. Blessed be. Let it shine. Yes, let's do our circle.